JBN, we keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, 28-year-old shot allegedly trying to disarm police. The Elliston Road police have charged 28-year-old Raheem Miller, otherwise called Rara, a carpenter of Rockingham Road, Kingston 2, with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition following an incident on Simpson Road in Eastern Kingston on Thursday, December 30, 2021. Reports are that about noon, a team of police officers was on patrol when they saw Miller fleeing. He was accosted but reportedly resisted arrest and was shot when he allegedly tried to disarm one of the police officers. Miller was shot to the upper body, and a burst 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 12 9mm rounds was seized. He was taken to hospital where he was admitted for treatment. Headless body of missing taxi operator found in St. James. A pall of gloom now hangs over Greenwood in St. James, following the discovery of a headless body believed to be that of 74-year-old taxi operator Leslie Harding, who went missing from the neighboring Long Bay community 2 weeks ago. Reports from the Barton police saw that about 4 p.m. on Friday, residents in Greenwood alerted the police to an odor coming from bushes along a dirt track which leads to the Greenwood Great House. The residents went to investigate and stumbled upon the headless body of a man, which was in an advanced state of decomposition. The police said the body was shirtless, clad in a pair of blue jeans pants and a pair of green and grey slippers. A further search of the scene led to the discovery of the victim's head not far from the body, along with dentures, test glasses, and a blue and yellow striped shirt. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue for a post-mortem. Investigators say they have reason to believe that the body was that of the taxi operator who had been reported missing at the Barrytown police station. One man, who gave his name as Martin, said that he was a cousin of the missing taxi driver and that he went missing on January 31, but a report was not filed with the police until a day later. Everybody there looked for find him at first, but you know things that go with the murders them in St. James. So after so much days passed, everybody just give up hope. And still now them come find him dead, said the relative, who believes the body to be Harding's. Him is a man who run him taxi and never trouble anybody, and based on all me hear is that them rob him, then them kill him and take away him car. He continued, him is a man everybody love. Him kind to him family and is always willing to give you a drive, even when you don't have no fear. Him never deserve to dead, so them just take him go kill him in a bush like him a dog. The St. James police are yet to establish a motive for the murder. We're still carrying out a series of investigations and hope to gather some leads soon, one senior cop stated. Since the start of the year, 34 persons have been murdered in the parish of St. James. Cronies of slain wanted man given until Valentines Day to surrender to police. The Westmoreland police are now hunting for 2 men they say shot at them on Saturday morning during an operation in which the parish's most wanted man was killed. Head of operations of the Westmoreland Police, Adrian Hamilton, said the men, Devani Bennett, otherwise called Santa, and Moses Ramsey, managed to elude the police after opening fire on a 3-member team from the proactive unit, which was conducting covert operations in Alder, Bluefield, Westmoreland. A 3rd man, Andre Hines, who was listed as Westmoreland's most wanted, was shot dead. Hamilton says Bennett and Ramsey have until noon on Valentine's Day, Monday, February 14, to surrender. In the meantime, he is warning residents not to harbor them. The police say the men had fled their Savlamar communities when the zone of special operation was launched there last month. According to Hamilton, the Westmoreland police are energized to continue their hunt for guns, gangsters, and criminals terrorizing residents. Cop shot by colleague in repelling man said to be of unsound mind. A police constable this morning shot and injured by his colleague as they tried to fend off a man said to be of unsound mind in Augustown, St. Andrew. It is reported that about 5:30 a.m., cops from the Specialized Operation Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force were in a section of the community called the Bottom Area when a man attacked a member of the team with a knife. The police reportedly opened fire on the attacker. The man was shot in the abdomen. Shortly after, it was discovered that the constable had also been shot in the abdomen. The men were transported to hospital. Newly energized task force put scammers in crosshairs. In an apparent call for legislation targeting the migration of lottery scammers who pump millions of dollars into the underworld, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has insisted that the police are doing their part to disrupt activities and lay charges. The police force is a creature of law. There's a reason we constantly advocate for changes in laws, and perhaps we have to do some changes in the laws around lottery scammers to deal with that, Anderson said during Friday's police military press conference held to launch a joint anti-gang task force. There's nothing that prevents a Jamaican from going or moving anywhere in Jamaica, so you'll find as the wealth increases, they're going to be moving around. He was responding to questions surrounding the migratory patterns of the illicit players, found to be swindling $300 million per annum from Americans. Police intelligence, Anderson said, has led to the recent recovery of 50 lead sheets in one instance and scores of others across the island. Lead sheets are sheets of paper with credit cards and other personal information which are used by scammers in carrying out their illicit activities. Police Constable Shillian Allen is among the latest Jamaicans to be held in connection with lottery scamming and is facing charges in the U.S. Allen, 42, was detained by members of the Homeland Security Investigation Team shortly after arriving in Fort Lauderdale, Florida last week, and has been accused of being a mastermind in the scheme. Ultimately, they're going to be put before the courts, and depending on the sentencing or regime that they're exposed to, they'll either get back into business quickly or they'll be away for a while anticipating alternatives to lottery scamming, said Anderson. Some 40 people have been charged in recent months of lottery scamming crimes and the 3 guns seized, along with $3.7 million and 50 phones. Pressed on whether the anti-lottery scam task force is failing, given the pervasiveness of lottery scamming in the country and its link with gun violence, Anderson said he was not of that view. He argued that the work against lottery scamming has been ongoing, noting that only recently Jamaicans are starting to make the connection between the scheme and violent crimes. The lottery scamming task force has been doing its operations all along. They have sort of re-energized some of those operations as they are working with partners. It's been ongoing with our foreign partners and also the other departments of the force to deal with this matter of lottery scamming and the money from it, said Anderson. At the same time, he said the newly formed task force, which has been operating fluidly across the country for a week, has secured the arrest of several players in the fraudulent scheme. He said already, the task force has seized 7 illegal guns, 1,200 pounds of compressed marijuana, and has disrupted an illegal alcohol operation that was funding gang activities. We have arrested 4 persons for lottery scamming, and another 16 of them to make a total of 20 persons were involved in violence and crime, he said. The task force is a team of approximately 70 men and women trained between the Jamaica Defence Force and the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and led by a cadre of sub-officers and the JCF tested at the military level. We don't just get to a point like this. We don't just throw together some people and say we want to go and do some joint operations. We are sitting in a planning room to be able to launch a sort of operations required in this highly violent environment, the commissioner said. We are determined Jamaican people are going to be safe. Shaw vows to get Western trains rolling. Transport and Mining Minister Alder Shaw said that under his administration, the railway system from Montego Bay to Kingston, which has been out of service since 1992, will be reopened. Addressing journalists during Wednesday's $34 million or 5.3 billion Jamaican dollars contract signing ceremony for a one-way expansion project at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James, Shaw said that Jamaica's railway service, which was built in 1845, should not be allowed to remain unused. In terms of the railway, I just wanted to know that I'm taking a very, very serious and careful look at it. And it is not if we're going to bring it back to Jamaica, it is when. The reason why we must do that is that history would frown upon us if we don't, said Shaw. The British brought the rail service to Jamaica, primarily to haul around sugarcane. But 30 years ago, we closed down Jamaica's rail service. The tracks are still there, and we are going to reopen the service, Shaw added. We cannot allow this valuable asset to remain dormant, and I'm committed to restoring the train service in Jamaica. Prior to its closure, Jamaica's railway system saw much use in the 1940s when bauxite was discovered in the island, with the railway being the preferred means of transporting the bauxite extract for processing and shipping. The rail service also provided various types of employment to rural western communities such as Catadupa, St. James, where a railway station was installed and active as the train ran its route to and from the Appleton estate. While he did not give an estimated timeline for the revival of the service, Shaw said that it would be done in 3 phases, with focus on tourist trips to the Appleton estate in St. Elizabeth. We're going to start with the first phase being from Mount Pelion, St. James to the Appleton estate, which is going to be primarily focused on tourism and tourists. They can go through and make stops along the way and end up at Appleton estate, Shaw explained. Then the next phase will be Montego Bay to Montpelier, and then the final phase is going to be back to the rail service from Kingston to Montego Bay. During the recent rollout of Jamaica's new commuter rail service for students last month, the Transport Minister Robert Montague said he was proposing a further expansion of the Jamaican rail service to minimize the traffic on the island's roads. 168 new COVID-19 cases in Jamaica, 1 more death. The Minister of Health and Wellness has reported 168 new COVID-19 cases and 1 death on Saturday, February 12, bringing the infection total to 127,054 and total deaths to 2,739. The new cases comprise 93 females and 75 males, with ages ranging from 50 days to 101 years. The cases were recorded in Kingston and St. Andrew 32, St. Catherine 29, St. James 17, Trelawney 14, Westmoreland and Clarendon 13 each, St. Mary and St. Thomas 10 each, St. Elizabeth 9, Manchester and Portland 7 each, Hanover 5 and St. Anne 2. The deceased is an 89-year-old male from Manchester. The death occurred between August 2021 and February 2022. There were 319 recoveries in the last 24 hours, bringing that total to 73,268. Currently, 328 people are hospitalized, 42 of which are severely ill, while 11 are critically ill and 64 are moderately ill. The health minister has reported a positivity rate of 14.8%. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.